Hello YouTube and welcome back to another coin video, or I guess in this case a museum video. This time it's actually the Museo Numismático of Argentina in Buenos Aires. And I kind of took a couple videos, pictures, and things that I really wanted to share because I had a great time here. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So here we have, of course, kind of colonial coins. That's a quick description. You can pause the video. I was actually the only person in the museum at the time, so I was able to kind of, take it much to myself. And that was allowed me to really take my time and record some of the displays. I didn't go to every single one because I think it would be better enjoyed in person, and it's hard to kind of get the details with all the lights and all that. But here are some really nice examples of some history. Here you have Carlos V. You have the different reales from the Potosi mints. Oh, here are some really beautiful pieces. Now you have the actual designs, the coat of arms of Argentina. You have the sun, which is a huge symbol. Here you have some of the mints, more of the designs. Most of these coins are real. Some of them are replicas. Usually they would say in the plaque which ones are replicas and which ones aren't. Here are some important people for the revolution. The first coins of the patriarchy or of the homeland. Here you get more into the different designs, some beautiful gold pieces. Really hope to own some of these one day. Probably never. Um, this is the Famatina, important area in Argentina, especially at this time period. This is where they kind of mined a lot of the gold for these coins. And these are just some more of the different mines and important places from Argentina's history. Of course, it is mostly in Spanish because we are in South America. But further in the video, there will be some more of the English translations for people, such as this. Here we have the Independence and National Organization in Argentina. I thought this would be really cool thing to have. Throughout the video, there was kind of little posters talking about it. Of course, again, I didn't take a photo of every single one, but here's just some more information about Argentina before we get into some more coins, as well as bills, as you can see. Here you have some un pesos, which are really, really beautiful. I really did love the design on a lot of these items. I think that there are some really cool things that you don't get to see very often here in the States. And it is kind of reminiscent of our revolutionary coinage at the time. Here you have the different provincial banks, kind of what the United States and other countries went through. This is the um, emissions that were out throughout their civil war, because they did go through one as well. Some more of their different pesos, their smaller notes, things of that nature. Really, this was a really cool one. Here you have Simon Bolivar and George Washington on the same note. They really, really respected revolutionary leaders. Here you have Benjamin Franklin and William Penn. Again, people you wouldn't expect to see on foreign banknotes, but I thought was awesome. So I wanted to make sure I got that on the video. You kind of see this throughout this time period. This is the Amontaciones de Buenos Aires, the different pesos from the national banks, 200 peso, 500 peso. Really, really cool. That's the Battle of Pavon, 10 pesos, 20 pesos. Um, Different, of course, colors. Some of the bills, as it says there, are in expositions, so they aren't actually included here anymore. Look at those beautiful colors on those notes. Apologize for the shadows. Again, it's like so hard to really record in there, but you see some really, really cool notes, and those colors are really popping. So this is for the Provincial Bank of Buenos Aires. Now we get into circulatory items for outside the country. So this is how do you say, bolivianos, Here you've got, sorry, I'm going like really fast here. Un banco de río, un peso de plata boliviano, otra vez, un peso fuerte. This is the Cordoba note. So these are like notes that were basically in the region. So you have Bolivia, Chile, other provinces that, were part of the trades and all of that. This talks about the Banco Nacional um, in Spanish, but I thought it was pretty cool. Of course, you can pause it. I'm sure for those of you who do speak Spanish, this is pretty cool. This is why I kept it in there. Up next, we have a other pesos for the national coinage. So this is kind of talking about how it got centralized into one coinage system. So this is the unification monetarily, which is a big part of every country's history, of course, just like the US and all of that. Then we've got beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gold coins. Oh, dude, I was like salivating looking at these coins. I love, love, love the design on these gold coins. Here are the silvers. And for those of you who know me, I'm a huge fan of coins that look like this. Like one of my favorite coins of all time. Again, you're gonna get bored of hearing me say this because I say this in a lot of my videos. The souvenir peso from Cuba, and man, this gave me that same sort of feeling. It's like early coinage. It really goes back to the roots. Um, this is the unification money, so this is already in the 1800s. Very different from their first era, I guess, money, if you were to call it that. Here you've got some tokens, if I'm not mistaken. Really interesting piece over there. 50 centavos, some more notes and stuff like that. Really, really cool. There's a lot of different eras and notes when it came to Argentina that I just didn't really know about. There's so many. It was really hard to capture it all and to give a good explanation on every single one, which is why if you're ever in Buenos Aires, I highly recommend coming to the museum. It is free entry, and there's so much cool stuff there. And then right across the street is their central bank that sells, coinage from the mint and stuff like that. I was so disappointed. I was not able to make it in time. They closed when I got there uh, for their souvenir coins and stuff like that, and like their mint sets, things of that nature. I was so disappointed I did not make it in time. That is one of my mini regrets. Mini, like it's not like crazy of a regret because I did go to a coin store nearby and they had some mint sets that I bought for probably a little bit upcharged, but at least I was able to get a hands on some. Of course, on this trip, silver was on an insane climb. It was like over, I think it just hit $100 per ounce. So I couldn't buy any silver coins, which really left a bad taste in my mouth because I love silver coinage. But I was able to buy some Cuban coins, surprisingly, that I needed for my collection, some Cooper nickel ones, as well as I think it was a copper or bronze coin that I did not have before. So if you've made it this far, that is going to be another video down the road going over the coins I picked up on this trip. But back to the actual museum, these designs were some of my favorites, and you can kind of see why. There's a lot of colors, very big distinction now between these two. These are conversion notes. Um, so these are kind of just notes that were used to convert. That's why they all have pretty similar designs, and there wasn't really anything too crazy. And then you've got the coinage up there as well. Now we're going into the more modern notes. You can tell now because of the mechanisms, the inks. These are pretty cool because they're all, full zeros essentially, or firsts, I guess, because it's 001. This one's a 587, but these are pretty modern now. And you can see the dates 1989, 1990s. These were called Australes. Here you have Linea Australes. So it's from 1985 to 1991. Basically, it was just kind of a new currency that they had to do, introduced by one of the presidents. Here we've got some newer notes as well. So this is after the Australes. You got the pesos. Now we're in the basically modern age as to what they currently have right now. This is the currency that I was using when I was over there. Really like the designs. Pretty much up to par with other foreign countries. They don't use coinage though um, anymore with their new pesos. The new pesos are fully bills only when I was over there. So that was a really interesting thing to see. I'm so used to coinage, but it was all in bills. So you had a bunch of different bills, the smaller denominations, and all of that. So they had discontinued coinage except for commemorative coins, of course. So here are some of those commemorative coins. You see this as a special circulation or special emissions, 2010s, 1 pesos, stuff like that. Here I thought was really cool. These are some of the actual designs with the plasters right next to it. And I thought that was so sick to see that. So here are the actual dies themselves. Lots of detail. Low key wish I could take one. Of course, you literally can't. But I would love to have grabbed ones that have the coat of arms because I'm a big fan of the coat of arms of a lot of countries. Now we're getting into some of the pieces from those dies. Again, more of those dies. And here we've got for the actual banknotes now. So, they've got to draw it out, and then you have your plates, the two plates for the obverse and reverse. Here you've got the design again, and then boom, that's what you end up getting. Here, this is just kind of some cool pictures I took. Of course, that's what they used to use to weigh the purity of the coins and all that stuff back at the changing houses or whatever they were called. Thought that was really just cool to show. Up here was just a really cool piece of topaz. Basically, it was a cigarette box. It had a huge piece of topaz on top of it. You've got some gold. Um, I just thought it was a really sick piece. Wanted to show that out. Now, here are modern silver commemorative coinage that they had released as part of the South American series that they do. So Ecuador has participated in it, and if you've seen my previous videos, oh, there it is, Ecuador, 5,000 sucres, Galapagos penguins. Um, this was just really cool. They had so many of these modern coinage. I didn't record everything, of course, but I try to record stuff that I actually have in my collection or coins that I might have from other countries in the collection, but not from Argentina. So here I am, just kind of going. There is Ecuador again on the left. Kind of missed it. It was a man and his horse. I have that coin. Here we have the different ships. I also have one of, or maybe two of these now. I forgot from which countries though. Here, beautiful colorized series that they had released between the different countries. This is actual now just purely Argentina coinage commemoratives. And here are some more. But kind of nearing the end of the video, so I don't want to keep on blabbering and making this too long, but I really enjoyed my time here in Argentina. Thought this was a really great museum. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's a lot different from what I usually post, and it's not really that flashy. It's just kind of going over the different coins and giving you a look at hopefully a museum that you'll one day be able to visit yourselves because I really did enjoy it. So if you have any comments, please leave them down below. Uh, Hope you enjoyed again. You can leave a like, subscribe to the channel for this sort of coinage. And here's my favorite coin, the auto proof for the World FIFA Cup coming up. So super excited. Talk to you guys later. Thanks for everything.